In this video, we're going to work example problems where we multiply and divide complex numbers using the product and quotient theorem, which is, these theorems are based on performing the multiplications and divisions with the complex numbers in polar form. And this is really interesting because what we've seen is that multiplying complex numbers and dividing them in polar form is actually extremely simple and quick, which is nice to actually do the multiplications, but you can also think about it from an intuitive standpoint, trying to kind of mentally understand what's going on when you do these operations. It also can be very intuitive when thinking about it from the perspective of polar coordinates. So, okay, so we've got here, what we're doing is we're wanting to find a third complex number, Z3, that comes from multiplying this first complex number by this second complex number. Okay, and this is going to be extremely quick because these are in polar form. So we just do 3 times 2 is 6. And then we just add the angles. So 90 plus 60 is 150. And that's it. That's going to be theta. Done. That quick, that easy. Now it wants us to write the actual final answers in rectangular form. We know how to do that. We just simplify this to get one number plus I times another number. So 150 is in the second quadrant with reference angle 30 degrees. Okay, so we've got, let's see, 1 root 3, 2. Okay, but in the second quadrant, so with reference angle 30 degrees, the x component's going to be negative, so we're going to be like this. The y component's going to be positive. So cosine of 150, if we do this as the reference angle, it's going to be minus root 3 over 2. So we've got, now sine is going to be just 1/2. Okay, so we've got, let's see, minus 3 root 3 plus 3i. Okay. All right, so what is, if we call this complex number z, which is the multiplication of these two complex numbers, again, it's really, really easy if we're just going to write the final answer in polar form. So 6 times 4 is 24, and then we can actually do just the cis. 60 plus 330 is 390, just like that. Okay, we know cis is, it's the cosine theta plus I sine theta. Okay, so now 390 is in the first quadrant with reference angle 30 degrees. So once again, the 30, 60, 90 triangle. So 1 root 3, 2. Okay, so cosine 30, root 3 over 2, sine 30, 1/2. All right, so let's see, it's going to be 12 root 3 plus 12i. Okay. This is going to be 4 cosine 225 plus 135 is 360. Okay, so there we go. Now putting this in rectangular form, we know that cosine 360 is going to be 1, sine 360 is going to be 0, so there we go. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 3 cis 225 plus 45 is 270. That's it. So now putting this in rectangular form, 270 is the negative vertical. So that's going to have a cosine of 0 and a sine of negative 1. So minus 3i. Okay, this is 15 cis 135. That easy. Okay, 135 has reference angle 45 in the second quadrant. Okay, so the x component in the second quadrant is going to be negative, so we're going to get minus 1 over root 2, and then plus, and there we go. Now we can rationalize this, and so we've got minus root 2 over 2 plus okay, and there we go. Okay, now dividing two complex numbers with the complex numbers in polar form is just as simple. So here we're dividing this to get z3. We're dividing this complex number z1 by this other complex number z2. And the answer is going to be, so 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then cosine 150 minus 120 is 30 degrees. Plus I sine of 30 degrees, and that's it. Done. But now they want us to write this in rectangular form, so we're going to go ahead and simplify this. So 30, 60, 90 triangle. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 30 is 1 over 2. So we've got root 3 plus I. Okay. What is the complex number that results from dividing this complex number by this complex number? It's just going to be 10 divided by 5 is 2. Cis 50 minus 230 is minus 180. And that's it. So cosine of minus 180 is going to be minus 1. Sine of minus 180 is going to be 0. So the answer is just minus 2. Okay. Three divided by 9 is 1/3. 305 minus 65 is 240. Okay, so 240 is in the third quadrant with reference angle 60 degrees. So we've got 1. Okay, third quadrant, both the x and y coordinates are negative. So we've got, so cosine of 240 is going to be, so 60 degree reference angle minus 1/2. Sine of 240 okay. Okay, here they first want us to write these complex numbers in polar form and then do the division. So, okay, in the numerator, we're going to have 8, and then let's see. This is going to be, the angle is 0 degrees. So cosine 0 degrees plus I sine of 0 degrees. And then in the denominator, we've got root 3 squared is 3, 1 squared is 1, so 4 square root of 2, square root of 4 is 2. Okay, and then this angle is in the first quadrant with, so, okay, the 30, 60, 90 triangle. 1. Tangent theta is root 3 over 1, so the angle is 60 degrees. So we've got cosine of 60 plus I sine of 60. So the result is 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then 0 minus 60 is minus 60. So there we go. Now, cosine of minus 60 is going to be just one positive 1/2. But sine of minus 60 is going to be, this is going to be negative in that case. So minus root 3 over 2. Okay, so 2 minus 2 root 3I. There we go. Okay, so we've got, let's see, 1, and then this is going to be cosine of 90, or no, 270, because this is the negative vertical, plus I sine of 270. Okay, and then let's see. In the denominator, we've got, so it's so that the 1 plus 1 squared plus 1 squared is 2. Square root of 2 is root 2. Okay, now tangent, so arc tangent of 1 over 1, we know that we have the 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, we're in the first quadrant, so that means this angle is 45 degrees. So we've got cosine of 45 degrees plus I sine of 45 degrees. And there we go. So now so this is Z. Now doing this division, we've got, so 1 over root 2, which we know is going to be root 2 over 2, times, so 270 minus 45 is 225. So cosine of 225 plus I sine of 225. Okay, so 225 is in the third quadrant with reference angle 45 degrees, so both components are negative. So we've got cosine of 225 is going to be minus 1 over root 2. Sine of 225 is minus 1 over root 2. Okay, so we've got, let's see, minus 1/2 minus 1/2 I. There we go. Okay, for these problems, we just want to convert the two complex numbers into polar form first. So we don't want to divide these in rectangular form. So, okay, we know that 8 is going to have angle 0 degrees. So the radius is going to be 8, and we've got cosine of 0 degrees plus I sine of 0 degrees. Okay, now here, root 3 squared is 1. 1 squared is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. So, okay, now theta then is going to be arc tangent of, let's see, y over x. So, okay, if we think about the 30, 60, 90 triangle, we've got, let's see, 1. Okay, this is in the first quadrant, so tangent of 30 is 1 over root 3. So this is going to be 30 degrees. Okay, now doing the division, 8 divided by 2 is 4. And then we've got cosine of minus 30 plus I sine of minus 30. Okay, so now minus 30 is in the fourth quadrant. Let's see, cosine is going to be just root 3 over 2 because the x component stays positive. So root 3 over 2, but sine of 30 is going to be, the 1's going to be negative, so we'll have, okay, now distributing that 4, we've got 2 root 3 minus 2i, and there we go. Okay, so in the numerator, we've got, so this r1 is going to be, so 2 root 6 squared is going to be 4 times 6 is 24. 2 root 2 squared is going to be 4 times 2 is 8. 24 plus 8 is 32. 16 times 2 is 32, so 4 root 2. Okay. Now in the denominator, we've got, let's see, 2 plus 6. Because square root of 2 squared is 2, square root of 6 squared is 6. Okay. 2 root 2. All right, so we've got, let's see. Now in the numerator, the angle is going to be, let's see. We've got, so the y is minus 2. We'll just leave it positive. 2 root 2 over, and then 2 root 6. We see that's going to be square root of 2 over 6. That's going to be square root of 1/3, so 1 over root 3. Okay, now if we think about the 30, 60, 90 triangle, okay, now we're in the positive x, negative y, the fourth quadrant, 1 over root 3, so tangent of 30 is 1 over root 3, so fourth quadrant reference angle 30 degrees is going to be 330, so cosine 330 plus I sine 330. Okay, now in the denominator, we've got, let's see, root 6 over 2, that's going to be just root 3. So, okay, but this is in the fourth quadrant as well. Tangent of 60 is root 3 over 1. So in the fourth quadrant, reference angle 60 is 300 degrees. Okay, so we've got 4 root 2 divided by 2 root 2 is just 2. And then 330 minus 300 is just 30. Okay, cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. Sine of 30 is 1 over 2. And there we go.